The voice in the song's mind was like a bitter laugh. To hear me is to share my pain. Can you bear this burden, little guardians? The black crystal began to pulse more violently. The corrupted creatures in the chamber opened their eyes and began to turn towards them. The song was not offering them a last chance. It was inviting them to become a part of its own despair. We will not share your pain, Josh said, stepping forward with unexpected courage. His eyes no longer held fear, but the clarity of a scientist solving a problem. We will heal it. Heal it? Said the song, a tone of ancient cynicism in its voice. Nothing can heal me. I am a flaw in existence itself. No, Jack said, lowering his knife. You are not a flaw. You are just lost, like us. These words created a crack in the song's 1,000-year-old defense. For the first time, someone had not called it a monster, had not judged it. They had just tried to understand. This was the turning point of the battle. This was a battle to be won, not with swords or magic. This was a battle to be won by proving to a lost soul that it was not alone, and that there was still hope. And the three heroes were ready to use the most powerful weapon they had against the weeping heart of Althea. Compassion. That tiny crack in the song's 1,000-year-old defense gave the heroes the only chance they needed. They could save it from drowning in the dark ocean of its grief. We have to reach it, Sevan said, her eyes on the pulsing black crystal in the center of the room. Not just from the outside, but from within. How? Jack asked. The moment we get close, it will unleash those corrupted slaves on us. Then we buy her time, Jack said decisively. He looked at his brother. Josh, protect Sevan. Don't let anyone get near her, no matter what. Josh nodded. He was no longer afraid. He had a purpose. He gripped his father's hunting knife tightly and took a position beside Sevan. Jack took a deep breath and charged forward with a battle cry. This was not a cry of aggression, but a challenge. He wanted to draw all the attention to himself, to give the others the precious seconds they needed. The plan worked. The corrupted creatures, opening their eyes, turned towards Jack like a puppet army. Meanwhile, Sevan, under Josh's protection, moved towards the center of the heart of the tree. Sevan stopped a few steps before the black crystal. She closed her eyes and focused on the anchor stones in her hands. But this time, she did not try to emit a pure, cleansing energy from the stones. Josh's words echoed in her mind. We will heal it. Healing did not mean forcibly burning a wound. It meant understanding it, listening to it, and gently closing it. Sevan tried something different. She intended to use the stones not to suppress Althea's pain, but as a bridge to connect it to the rest of the universe. She opened her mind, infusing her own memories, her emotions, into the energy of the stones. Her grandmother's wisdom, Jack's unwavering loyalty, Josh's desire for understanding, and most importantly, her own compassion. Do you hear? She whispered into her mind, towards the song. These are the other songs of the universe. You are not alone. You never were. You just forgot how to listen. The energy emanating from the anchor stones was no longer just green and gold. It had turned into a soft, iridescent light that contained countless different colors and emotions. When this light touched the black crystal, it did not try to break it. It gently embraced it. The song faltered in the face of this unexpected compassion. For the first time in millennia, it felt something other than its own pain. It was such a foreign, so overwhelming a feeling that it instinctively resisted. Lies! It screamed in their minds. The crystal flashed violently and the pressure in the room increased tenfold. Jack was thrown back by the force of the attacking creatures. Though Josh tried to form a wall of flesh around Sevan, one of the corrupted claws deeply gashed his arm. The song attacked them with one last desperate act. It projected their darkest fears into their minds. Jack saw the lifeless bodies of his family. Josh watched a single mistake he made destroy the entire universe, and Sevan felt that she had utterly failed her grandmother's legacy, that she too would one day be forgotten. But this time, their fears could not hold them captive, because they knew they were no longer alone. We are together, Jack yelled as he got back up. Those two words broke the spell. Sevan cleared the darkness from her mind. There was one last thing she had to do. Instead of resisting, she would accept. She took a deep breath, and, through the anchor stone, allowed a small part of the song's pain to flow into her own soul. In that moment, she felt the crushing weight of 1,000 years of loneliness, of being forgotten, and of grief in her heart. The pain was unbearable. Tears streamed from her eyes, but she did not pull back. This act of pure empathy shattered the song's final wall of defense. Feeling its pain shared for the first time, the being stopped resisting. At that moment, a faint cracking sound came from the black crystal in the middle of the room. The crack had not been forced open. It had formed because the pressure inside had finally found a way out. The crystal exploded into a million pieces. But this was not a violent explosion. It was like a block of ice melting in the spring sun. The blackness gave way to a soft, melancholic, but pure silver light emanating from the center of the room. The Song of Shadows had not died. It had transformed. That dissonant, painful melody had now become a sad but beautiful lament. It was no longer a poison, but a part of Althea's history, of the tragedy it had endured. As the room filled with light, the corrupted creatures collapsed lifelessly to the ground. Their bodies quickly dissolved, turning into sprouting new plants in fertile soil. The black veins on the walls receded. The heart of the tree had begun to breathe again. Jack, Josh, and Sevan watched this miraculous transformation. Exhausted, but shoulder to shoulder, they had won. And in the process, they had learned the true meaning of their mission. Not to destroy darkness, but to restore balance. They had understood that the power to heal even the deepest wounds was not brute force, but compassion. As they left the heart of the tree, they saw that the air had cleared, the colors had revived, and the forest was breathing again, along with its new but mournful song. At the entrance, the elder of the forest was waiting for them. The voice in their minds was now filled with gratitude. "You did not silence it," he said. "You listened. Althea will be forever grateful to you and the light you carry. May your path be clear, guardians of balance." Their mission on Althea was over. But the three heroes knew that this was only the beginning. In other corners of the universe, there were other wounds to be healed, other lost souls to be heard, and they, with this new wisdom, were ready to continue on their path.